This is Ifeoma Odunlami, immigration attorney from the Odunlami law firm. And I'm here on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of people to come in. And for those who have not met me before, I am an immigration lawyer, and my law firm is in New Jersey, but we serve clients in all 50 states. And so I have a topic I want to talk about today, and I got this topic from basically reviewing. I was just on one of the immigration groups um, where I guess people who are looking to assist their family members, I guess like a chat group. So, and I saw this topic and I thought this was a good topic to talk about. So I'm going to let more people come in, and I don't know if I can take questions, but I will try because I have a conference at 4 o'clock. So as you come in, please, type in the comment section where you're calling from, where you're joining me from. But hi, Joe. Hi, Cornell. Hi, Sasha from Instagram. So, like I said, I was watching this. I was reading the comment on this chat group, right? And this person came on and said he's looking for the easiest way to send his spouse back to her country. She came here on a K visa. They have children together, and the papers are processing. And basically, he's saying that he found that she was using him to get a green card, and he wants to make sure she goes back to her country, sends her back to her country. So I'm just reviewing the responses, because the two things that struck me was, you want to make sure she goes back to her country. That's number one. Number two, you found out, he claims he found out that she was using him for a green card. And his response to that is to make sure that she is sent back to her country, even though they have kids together. And there are people there, giving, this was not an attorney forum, so there are people, giving their, advice and all that. But what struck me was this. This is a kind of abuse that we talk about in VAWA. So relationships don't work out for many reasons, but what I have found out from representing my clients is when they're married to US citizens or green card holders, as soon as the relationship doesn't work out, that a US citizen or green card holder is quick to say, I'm going to send you back to your country. I'm not going to show up for the interview. I'm going to tell USCIS that you're using me for my green card. As a matter of fact, I have a client who there was no question it was a legitimate, real relationship. But he called USCIS because there was a lot of cheating involved, and my client was like, I'm done with this relationship. So to tell her and to show her that I am the reason you're in this country, and if I say I don't want you anymore or you don't want to be with me, I'm going to send you back to your country. He calls USCIS and says, oh, she used me for my green card. She wants to get papers. That's why she married me. And there was no basis for this. He just wanted to get back at her because it's control, power and control. So they feel they have this power. They feel they have this control, and they want to make sure that you toe the line. Otherwise, they won't show up for the interview. They won't give you their taxes. They won't sign a lease with you. They won't give you the documents you need. They won't give you their birth certificate, their passport. It's all control. And what happens is we have clients who are scared, who are worried that, oh my goodness, I'm not going to get my papers, especially clients who, some of them left their countries to join the love of their life in America. And then they're stuck. They've lost their jobs. They've, broken ties with, whatever in their home countries, and if they leave, they can't come back to the United States for 10 years. And for some people, they may even have children in the United States, which means that, you know, they are always in fear that if they're deported, they don't get to see their kids again. So, what is the solution to this, guys? The solution is VAWA, Violence Against Women's Act. That is the solution. That is what's going to get you your green card. And how does that work? It works without your US citizen spouse or your green card holder spouse. You don't need them. You just have to prove your case. You have to prove, number one, that they are, the abusive partner is a US citizen or green card holder. You need to prove that you've lived with them at some point. It could be during the marriage, after the marriage. And remember this, there's no requirement that you be married for any period of time. That you have to prove that it's a bona fide marriage. You have to prove that you marry this person for, to be with them for love. You want to show that there has been abuse in the relationship. And again, when we're talking abuse, we're talking different types of abuse. Like the one I just talked about, that we're not talking physical violence, but it's still abuse. You have somebody who's holding you hostage to them giving you documents. And this person that I read has already filed a petition, but is now looking for a way to send their spouse back. And so you may think, well, did she use him for the green card? I don't know. But when I read that, what I suspect is it's abuse, because most people, if you have kids together, you're not looking to send your spouse away back to a country where they wouldn't have access to their child or to their children, right? So there's a vendetta in it that makes me think, I don't think this is about her using him or, for the green card. This is just abusive behavior. It's control, it's power. And they want this person to know that I have the power to send you back. So the question on this video is, can your spouse get you deported? In this instance, no. File VAWA. If they're not going to give you the paperwork that you need to proceed because they're trying to control you, you have an alternate means of getting your green card. A better way, if you ask me, because you're not subject to this person's abusive behavior. You're not, bound by their good mood. When they're in the good mood, whether they'll give it to you or if they feel that, I don't believe you, maybe you don't love me, maybe you use me for my green card, so therefore I'm going to stop this. You're not bound by that, right? You now begin to self-petition. And I'm telling you guys, it is amazing the lives that VAWA has changed. Today, we got 5 green cards, VAWA green cards. Can I tell you how excited I am? Can I say how excited I am? Right? And these people took that first step. The first step of calling a lawyer, talking about what they've been through, getting properly, doing a proper consultation to see if they qualify for VAWA, and going through with it. And you may think, but if it's going to get them a green card, why are people afraid? But let me tell you something. I have seen people who are afraid to file because they are afraid of their spouse, or they're afraid of what the community is going to say, or they're just afraid. Sometimes fear cannot be described. It's just that reluctance to move forward, that thinking that maybe if I just, stay static, something will happen. But that something has to be you contacting an attorney to assist you, contacting somebody who knows how to do VAWA so that you get it right the first time, right? So I know I've had consultations with people who qualify for VAWA, but they didn't want to file because they were worried that their spouse would find out, or they were worried that their in-laws will say, oh, you're saying our you're being abused. But the truth of the matter is, your spouse is not going to find out that you filed for VAWA because VAWA is confidential, right? And number two, your spouse is not going to get into trouble because VAWA is not meant to, um, is not punitive. It's not trying to punish the abuser. It's trying to protect the victim. That is the basis for VAWA, to protect the victim. So they're not going after the abuser or getting the abuser in trouble. They're just trying to protect the victim, right? And the other thing is, when you file for VAWA, you don't need their affidavit of support. You don't need their for them to you know sign the affidavit of support, give you their taxes. You don't need any of that. So this year, 2023, right? If you're in a position where you're in an abusive relationship, right? Take that first step. And I'm not saying it's easy. Honestly, I know it's not, right? But if you do nothing, nothing happens. And I tell you this, right? It's not easy to qualify for a relief. Some people have been here for 20 years, but they don't qualify for many reasons. For some people, they came in here, they entered without inspection, what we call IWI, right? And guess what? If you're filing for VAWA, it doesn't matter how you entered into the country. It doesn't matter if you entered without inspection. But some people, they can't file because, for one reason or the other. Maybe they can't find somebody to file, do an affidavit of support, or whatever. So when I read this topic on that chat group, I remember the person actually said she doesn't want to leave the United States, but I want her to go back. Guys, that's control, that's abuse. If you're in this position where you have somebody who's threatening to send you back to your country, right? Threatening not to show up for the interview, you can file for VAWA. But again, I say to you, it has to be a bona fide marriage. You can't get into a relationship with a US citizen or green card holder and it's a sham marriage. If it's a sham marriage, you're not going to win a VAWA case either. VAWA is not a shortcut to getting a green card if you've been involved in a sham marriage. It's not. And I've said this 1,001 times. The sham marriage, don't do it. The consequences are dire. If USCIS makes a finding that you've been involved in a sham marriage, you will never get a green card, likely. Never, ever. Nobody, not your child, not your parent, not your spouse. But we're not talking about people in sham marriage. We're talking about people in relationships where there's some kind of abuse, physical abuse, financial abuse. Is this person taking your money? You open an account, they withdraw it. You're forced to close the account. They won't put you on the lease. They're making you go to work, taking all your money when you work, or they're refusing to allow you to work because they think that if you work, you're going to better yourself and then you're going to leave them, right? Or is this person abusing you sexually, forcing you to, perform sexual acts that you are not comfortable with? It doesn't matter if it's an act that other people do. If you're not comfortable with it and you don't want to do it and they're forcing you to do it, that is sexual abuse, right? It could also be verbal abuse, where they're cursing you out, embarrassing you in front of people, embarrassing you on social media, yelling at you. The neighbors are looking, everyone knows about you, and you're always embarrassed because of the way the way this person treats you. It could also be psychological. You have a pet and they're trying to harm your pet, or you have a child and they're threatening to harm your child, threatening to call DCPP, child welfare, to say you're a bad parent. I mean, there's all manners of abuse. And I tell you something, sometimes I think that these abusers go to a school of abuse because they just know how to destroy a person's soul. But luckily for you guys, if you're in this position, there's a remedy. There's something called VAWA, Violence Against Women's Act. It applies to men, applies to women, applies to children, applies to parents who are being treated badly by their adult U.S. citizen children. So I just wanted to talk about that real quick because I can't even, when I read that paragraph, I was just, the audacity, the effrontery, like, I want her back. I'm going to send her back. Like, it's his decision. Like, it's what he wants, you know? So, you guys, if you know somebody who's in this position, share this video because you might be making a difference to somebody's life. I can't count how many people call my office saying that they were, they thought there was just no way. And I'm thinking, but there's all this VAWA videos out there. Who doesn't know about VAWA? But you'd be surprised. There are people out there that are not aware of VAWA because they've been told, given wrong information. They've been told, you can't file VAWA if you don't have a police report. You can't file VAWA if if there's no physical abuse. You can't file VAWA unless you've been you've been to a hospital, and that's not true. That's not true. We've won so many VAWA cases on psychological and emotional abuse. So yes, Wasif, what question do you have? Go ahead, ask questions. I have like a couple minutes, actually just 2 minutes, because I have to sign off and get to my 4 p.m. meeting. But let's have your question, Wasif. I'm happy to answer. So if you or anybody is looking to file Violence Against Women's Act, get your green card, self-petition, call my office, 973-993-1900. We represent clients in all 50 states. And so I think I just have maybe another minute. Wasif, waiting for you. And I'm going to sign out so I can get ready for my 4 p.m. But I'm going to try to come on again sometime. I tried to do it once a week, but last week I was sick. My whole family were just some virus, and I'm just getting better. I'm still a little tired and weak, but my daughter has it now. So yeah. So Wasif says, I filed my VAWA myself without an attorney. I received a prima facie as well. That's great. Awesome, Wasif. A prima facie is a good indication that you've met the barest minimum, but it's not a guarantee that you're going to get a proof of VAWA. So, but at least it shows that you're in the right direction. So you say, I didn't submit a psychological evaluation. Can I submit it now or later? You can submit it now. You can submit it later. VAWA is taking a long time. So I would say if you submitted, you got your prima facie, you can update your submission with a psychological evaluation at any time. But I think the sooner the better, so that you don't get the case a decision made on the case without the psychological evaluation. Because even though VAWA is taking 2.5 to 3 years, we've gotten VAWA approved in 8 months. So I would suggest, if you want to use that psychological evaluation, to go ahead, get it done and send it in, okay? And good luck, Wasif. And I'm sorry for what you've been through, okay? So guys, take care. I gotta go, but thank you guys for joining me. It was such a pleasure, and I can't wait to talk to you guys again. Take care.